Hey there, Canyon lovers. My name is Brian Special, and this is the Grand Canyon Hiker Dude Show presented by Bright Angel Outfitters. Hey, the long-awaited Rim to Rim pack should be available in May, right about the time Rim to Rim season opens up. The Rim to Rim pack is a day pack designed for the world's toughest day hikes and inspired and conceptualized during my hundreds of miles below the rim as I kind of thought about everything that I would want in a pack but couldn't seem to find. The result, thanks also to my wife Zena's style touches, is a beautiful, simple, comfortable, practical pack highlighted by the 6 pouches and pockets on the front shoulder straps, which lets you keep moving without having to stop every time you need a snack or some electrolytes or your phone or whatever. Those pockets on the front I found to be total game changers. Everything is within close reach at all times. The Rim to Rim pack also has a fully insulated compartment for water bladders and is a one-size-fits-most design with high-quality, water-resistant fabric. We think you will love it as we do. I've already had several Rim to Rims with it as we developed it over the last year or so. You can find out more about the Rim to Rim pack at brightangeloutfitters.com. At Bright Angel Outfitters, we do it all for the love of the canyon. Okay, so today we are taking the show out onto the trail to talk to the everyday folks who are right in the middle of their Grand Canyon adventures. It's always interesting to hear their stories and learn in real time what's working for them or how their training went or just what brings them to this magnificent place. We did this during spring break season in 2024 on a March Friday with almost perfect weather, temperatures in the 50s at the top and the 60s and 70s below the rim. It was so nice. On this day, we were still about 4 weeks away from the Bright Angel Trail being open again. It's been closed since December for the big Trans-Canyon Waterline project. So South Kaibab was as crowded as I have ever seen it by a long shot. There was a noticeable din in the chimney, the upper switchbacks, as I dropped in. Yes, I've definitely never heard crowd noise in the canyon, but I heard it that day. And there were times when it was a single file line all the way down to Point, which is just under a mile down. So it was important to pack a lot of patience for this hike. I knew that trail etiquette would not be perfect, so I knew that rather than get frustrated, well, it'd probably be better to just be patient and soak up the energy. Sure enough, things did start to thin out after and then even more so after Cedar Ridge, so it was still an absolutely fabulous day to be on South Kaibab. My wife was killing time on the rim as I headed down, so I was only going down as far as Skeleton Point this time. Still a great day hike that would be 6 miles round trip with over 2,000 feet in elevation lost and then gained again on the way back up. Skeleton is just under halfway to the river from the South Rim, and it's where I met a couple who just spent 2 nights at Phantom Ranch and were now on their way out and taking a welcome break after ascending those notorious red and white switchbacks, which are just below Skeleton, and which, if you are asking me, is the toughest stretch on South Kaibab.
My name is Crystal Cobble, and I'm 69, and I'm from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Kevin Cobble, and I'm, 67? Yeah, almost 68.
And you're married to this lady here.
Yes, I am.
And this is not your first rodeo.
No, this is our 10th trip. The first time I hiked the Grand Canyon was when I was 18 and I was a freshman at NAU. So, that's a rite of passage to hike the Grand Canyon when you're a college student there. And then I didn't go for a long time until one of my daughter's friends said, hey, their family's going to the Grand Canyon and they're going to stay at Phantom Ranch for Thanksgiving, and it's going to be like this big family thing. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. We did it most years, but sometimes we had to miss a year. One year, I think 2015, there was a big blizzard and I just didn't want to deal with that, so we didn't come.
So you try to do it every year?
Yeah, I tried to do it every year.
No winter usually.
Yeah. But in 2016, I didn't have the greatest experience because as I was hiking out, I just didn't feel well. I felt really fatigued, out of breath. Didn't really have any heart pain, but I just knew things weren't right. And so I decided when I got home I'd go to the cardiologist. And lo and behold, took a couple of months to get all figured out, but I had to have a emergency bypass.
Oh, wow.
So I had the triple bypass, and then my cardiologist was like, do whatever you want. You're fine. You can. I said, go back to hiking the Grand Canyon. Oh, sure. Go for it. So didn't go again until 2018. So.
Well, isn't that something? That
Yes.
It's almost like if you hadn't been in the canyon for that hike and that kind of exertion, that maybe you wouldn't have even caught the heart problem, right?
That's what I think. I feel like I'm really grateful for that, because it scared me enough that it was like, I'm going to get this taken care of. So we went to get help. But we did it again in 2018. And meanwhile, you did another trip, and he went in 2018, but I just stayed at the top and went on some little hikes around there. And then Kevin and I went again in 2023. So that was my second trip after a bypass, and now this is my third trip, and our 10th trip to the bottom in all.
What does the canyon mean to you guys as a couple?
Well, it's just something that we love to come here for. I mean, it's just such a beautiful place, and it's just, I used to work at wildlife refuges, and it's kind of a spiritual place to us too. It's unique. Where else can you see this? And like I say, we like to come in the wintertime when there's less people. I mean, one year we came and there was a snowstorm on top, and we hiked up the South Kaibab trail toward Ribbon Falls, and we didn't see anybody until like 2 p.m. We saw like one person all day, and it was
solitude.
like holy crap, and especially now when you see because Bright Angel's closed, there's just so much
crowded.
traffic. Yeah.
So crowded.
So that was just a special time there, and we've hiked out in rain and snow, and that's I like the winter, it's just other than you have it gets darker a lot quicker. But.
Yeah, it does. But you guys spend a lot of time on the North Rim, I hear, huh?
Yeah, we'll go and camp, and we've never done a rim to rim, but we hiked down back when you could hike down to the Roaring Springs and back up, and then do the trails along the rim and stuff, and just kind of camp there in the summertime. So
it's a special place, isn't it?
Yeah. This whole place is just
it is
unbelievable. Thank God somebody was smart enough to protect it way back when.
Yeah. Do you do anything special to train to get ready for this every year?
Probably not enough. I think my husband does more than me, but since we're retired, we do go to the gym all the time, and I take exercise classes. So I probably could always do more. And then we also do a lot of walking, because where we live around Las Cruces, it's desert, and there's a lot of we're kind of in the foothills of the Oregon Mountains, so we can do a lot of uphill.
Yeah, that's helpful. What would you advise someone who maybe has never been to the canyon, to someone who's been down at the bottom 10 times? What kind of advice would you give them when it comes to, a lot of people are just intimidated by, I won't be ready for it, I won't be trained for it. What would you say to them?
I'd say just go on some long day hikes with some uphill and downhill, obviously, and build up your endurance that way. Just go on a lot of hikes, and I think when I was the most prepared, we had been on some 12-mile hikes, and I feel like that really prepared us. This year, like I said, it's mostly just been gym classes and then hikes around our house. This is my first time down and up South Kaibab.
Well, in my opinion, you're past the hardest part.
Yeah,
once
is that right?
Once you survive those red and white switchbacks.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think that's the hardest part of the whole hike.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. Well, don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll keep going, because it's going to be my 70th birthday pretty soon, and maybe just hikes along the rim will be good enough.
Is this common at this point in the hike, Kevin? That this is the end?
Actually, it's pretty common. Right as we're about to hit the river, going down.
Never again.
What the hell were we thinking going down here? It's but yeah, it's pretty common. And then, it's like anything tough. Pretty soon the bad parts kind of fade away, and you forget the length, and it's maybe we should try it again. Yeah, it's
an obsession, isn't it?
I feel like I've always got to have some reservations for Phantom Ranch. ready, you know.
Just in case. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. All right, 1.5 miles up the trail, I ran into a mom, Stephanie, and her 2 kids at Cedar Ridge, which is 1.5 miles and just over 1,100 feet in elevation from the rim. I'd also been behind them for a bit on the way down and was struck by how she and her husband were talking to those kids about hiking etiquette and leave no trace principles. This stop at Cedar was also the time that 2 mules from a resting mule train suddenly broke loose and moved immediately towards Stephanie and her kids. Well, instead of panicking, Stephanie calmly reached out to grab the mule's rope, which I found pretty impressive, and she talks about during this conversation.
Stephanie Archuleta, I'm 39 years old, and I'm from Los Lunas, New Mexico.
New Mexico. You're the second New Mexican that we've run into today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So tell me, you're here with your kids, husband. What are you guys doing today?
We're just hiking and exploring. We're here for spring break. It's spring break this week. We actually we came out. We skied for a couple days at Snow Bowl, and we have a 4th grader. So since we have the 4th grade every kid in a park pass, we decided to hop up here for a couple days and just check it out. I love the Grand Canyon. I've been here a bunch. Love to hike, and so this is the kids' first time.
How many kids do we have?
3 kids.
What ages?
I have a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Okay.
And yeah, 13 didn't come down with us to the Skeleton Point.
So you guys went down to Skeleton Point?
Yeah. Me and the younger 2 kids went down to Skeleton Point, and then we'll meet my husband and oldest. I think we decided to meet back at the village here in a little while after lunch. Yeah.
What do the kids think of the canyon so far?
They love it. They think it's the coolest thing ever. So I think they're trying to plan. They've already mentioned that they want to do rim to rim. They want to sleep down at Phantom Ranch, and so once the water situation gets a little bit better with all the pipeline construction, we'll get that figured out.
So a little first taste today.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's nice and close, so that helps.
How long a drive is it for you guys?
So it's 4.5 hours to Flagstaff, so 6-ish.
Not bad.
Coming up here, yeah. No.
And I was walking behind you guys earlier, and your kids were talking about picking up rocks, things like that, and I noticed. I was just kind of eavesdropping. Sorry, but I love when I hear parents doing it right. And you and your husband were explaining to them about basically the leave no trace principles and things like that. How important is that to teach to kids at this age?
Well, this is their impressionable age. Yeah. Teach them now, and they'll remember forever. So no, it's really important. We do a lot of backpacking, and we spend most of our free time outdoors, and so we need to make sure that they understand that we want to leave everything for other people when they come, and leave things the way you found them.
And trying to keep these kids' noses out of phones and tablets and all that?
Oh yes, I mean there's only so successful you can be, but yeah, no, being outside is the way, exploring all this wonderful place that the earth has to offer us.
And it was funny, we're standing here at Cedar Ridge right now, which is 1.5 miles below the rim, and the mules were taking a little bit of a break, and all of a sudden 2 of them broke free and started heading right over toward you. And I noticed you were eating an apple, and with one hand, and with the other hand you reached out and tried to grab the rope. Yeah.
Well, oh, thanks. Well, the wrangler did ask if I could grab it, because I was like a little not sure, because it's instinct. So one of my many crazy hobbies is I do pack burro racing.
Oh wow!
So I spend a lot of time with burros, which aren't quite they're half of a mule. But
well, that explains how calm you were in that situation, as everybody else was panicking around you.
Right? Yeah. No. Although it is, then had to tell the kids to stand up, because we know how to behave around equines when they lose their mind. We just make sure we get out of the way. But
little Grand Canyon excitement.
Yeah, that was really cool. I've never actually seen a pack mule train when I've been here, so that was really that first experience. Pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. What other hikes have you done in the canyon?
So I've done rim to rim. And then we went down a little ways down Hermits yesterday, and I'd like to do that one again a little bit more, get a backcountry permit, and actually spend the night down at the bottom.
What kind of advice would you give someone who's never been to the canyon before, and maybe they're eyeing trying rim to rim, or hiking down to Skeleton Point or Tip Off or down Bright Angel, whatever? What kind of advice would you give someone who's trying it for the first time?
Make sure to train.
Yeah. What kind of training?
Stairs. Honestly, so when I was training for the rim to rim, that's what I did on my lunch break when I was on meetings at work. I would just go into the stairwell and just go up and down and up and down and up and down. Because if you can do that, you can do this. So
nice. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Really have a good hike.
And finally, back at the top, I met a young couple from D.C. who had just surfaced after 2 nights camping at the bottom of the canyon.
My name is Michael McCambridge. I'm 33 years old. I'm from Anchorage, Alaska.
My name is Elizabeth Carr. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm almost 32.
All right. So what brings you guys to the canyon today?
So we hiked down and stayed at Bright Angel Campground for 2 nights. In between we hiked out to Ribbon Falls.
Nice.
And went through the Hobbit Hole and
yeah.
We got advised that it was a good day hike opportunity by the cashier at REI in Flagstaff.
Perfect.
She kind of undersold it. It seemed like a good idea because, we were staying 2 nights. We wanted to keep the blood moving. Didn't want to just cool our heels for a day before we hiked back up. So 12 easy miles seemed like a good idea. And the cashier kind of undersold it. She was like, it's a waterfall, I've hiked to waterfalls before. I know, sometimes it's just a waterfall. And then we get there. It's insane. It must be the time of year. I don't know. The water was flowing hard.
Nice.
And there was just all sorts of plants blossoming out of the waterfall. So it was this crazy little oasis, and you could play around in the water, go behind the waterfall, and you're in a cave, and there were flowers growing from the ceiling. It was sweet.
Sounds like it was worth the trip.
Oh
Very
yeah,
much.
we recommended it to everyone
Yeah.
we could talk to.
Yeah.
Go to the waterfall. But it was a sweet trip.
How was the hike out there and the hike back? Because you guys got to go through the this time of the year I would call it the famous box, where the canyon's all closed in.
Yeah.
I call it famous this time of the year. In about 2 months, when it gets to be 100 degrees, it becomes the infamous box.
Yeah.
Because it's so hot, and this is where people run into trouble. What did you guys think of the hike out there?
Right now it's really nice because of the high canyon walls. You stay in the shade. So when we were coming back from Ribbon Falls, when you get a little higher up in the canyon, it opens up and it's more of a steep-sided valley.
Yeah.
And there it was pretty hot after the falls, but once we got to the box canyon part, it was cool and shady and nice.
Was not that bad. We thought it was going to be brutal because we got out early, so it was fine. We thought it was going to be brutal coming back, but we were in the shade a lot, and it's just slightly downhill. So we're making great time.
Yeah.
We get cracking 17-minute miles.
We met a very friendly park ranger on the way back.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
told us about the water system, which we hadn't known, that all the water for this side of the canyon comes from that side of the canyon.
Isn't that insane?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
that
if
was-
we'd read the infographic when we
Yeah,
hiked in,
yeah.
we would have known that too. But it was much better the way he explained it.
Yeah.
I learned.
Although we got here a little behind schedule, so we were trying to move quickly but safely down to camp on
we
the
were
hike in.
2 hours behind schedule.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
Not so bad,
Well, you guys had a very eventful trip from what I understand, starting in Sedona. Tell us about what happened.
Yeah, we spent we drove it. We were late because we were driving in from Sedona, and took a leisurely morning there. But we had spent a couple of nights in Sedona, and the first day we were there, Michael proposed.
Playing
There's the
on
ring.
camera.
Look at that. Beautiful.
On what we were doing, we were doing a nice long loop, and we got to Soldiers Pass,
Yeah.
and then there's the cave at Soldiers Pass, and we hiked up to the cave, and then Michael's like, I think we can scramble out to the top. So he scrambled out to the climbed out the end of the cave, and sure enough, he could get to the top, and Michael was very intent on finding a very good view, and I was like,
Did you know something was up?
I was like, that's very intriguing. That he likes a good view. He likes to scramble. I was like, he's really interested in not this view, that view. We must find a better view
Have good lighting.
Yeah, so he's motoring, trying to find the best view. So it's
Fortunately,
kind of-
at that time we had one of our law school friends with us who took pictures.
Ah.
And she was
in
on
on it.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
her husband was at the bottom, and so he's not so much with
He doesn't
the
like to scramble.
clambering through the caves and scrambling up.
Yeah.
So he took a picture of us up on top of a cliff there, right?
Yeah.
afterwards. So it was great.
Yeah. So
And
it's
then
pretty
you
good.
guys come to the Grand
And
Canyon.
then we
And
came.
then-
Well, in between we went mountain biking for a day. And so
Yeah.
which
That
was
was
great.
sweet. That was the best mountain
If you
biking
go to Sedona,
ever.
go mountain biking.
Yeah, that was the best mountain biking I
Yeah.
think I'd ever done.
What did you guys think when you got here and you laid eyes on the canyon?
Oh, it was really big. Michael had been before, and I'd never been before. And it's one of those things where you have these insane sights, and people talk about them, and you're like, okay, like the Taj Mahal is cool, like the Grand Canyon is big, but then you get there and you're like, oh, okay, it's like it's really big. Like you can't. And I mean, it just kept hitting me over and over and over as we were hiking down, like realizing like, oh, like what I could see from the top was like, there's more. Like, just wait, there's more there. Like it really just sunk in again once we got to the campground to Bright Angel. It's like to be looking up and seeing like there's so much that I can see from here. This is a stunning vista, and this is all like interior. Like you can't see this from the top.
You can't see the bottom from the top, and you can't see the top from the bottom. It's really wild.
Yeah, it was the next level.
What's the most memorable part of the hike?
Ribbon Falls.
Yeah.
Ribbon Falls. Yeah, that was crazy.
Did you guys feel like you were? I mean, where do you guys live now?
DC.
You guys live in DC. Yeah. Okay. So, was there anything that you guys did in particular to train to get ready for this hike?
Just like lots of just hiking around.
Yeah.
DC has really good trail access.
Like there's a big urban park called Rock Creek Park, and we took our backpacking packs for a walk there a couple times, and
you can do like a really great like loop where you're just like in trees like most of the way. It's like 14 miles, 15 miles. You tell them it's 9 miles, it's 15 miles, it turns out. Sometimes Strava breaks when you're partway through. You just have to guess. But like you can go out to Maryland and back. So, you know, you can do that. And we went out to Lake Shenandoah and the Dolly Sods, and you can do some hikes that are like similar incline. They're not as long, but you get out.
So you guys took it seriously.
1,000 feet. Yeah. We didn't want to. It's a bad place to get partway up and be like, oh no.
Was there anything that surprised you about the hike down or up in terms of just physically?
I was surprised about like just our pace in terms of the fact that we just our pace
we came up a lot faster than we expected to.
Our pace coming up was the same as coming down.
You guys were ready.
It was like 4 hours down, 4 hours up, whatever.
What advice would you give to someone like you guys, maybe someone who hasn't hiked the canyon before, might be thinking about it? What would you say to them in hindsight, now that you've done it, to get prepared to do this?
Hike as much as you can, do as much vert as you can. I was in the gym, so I was doing some strength training too. So
yeah, I mean, take it seriously. Like we saw a lot of people out there who are struggling. So take it seriously. Like give your it's hard. It's very hard. So train. Like just be thoughtful about what you pack.
Do your research on temperature. It's a lot warmer in the bottom than it is at the top.
You guys picked the best time of the year.
Yeah, this is a great time of year to do it. Don't do it in the summer. You need a lot of water. I like that, which is obvious. Send postcards from the bottom. Like we sent like 17 postcards from the bottom, and we then remembered like, oh shoot, like sorry Uncle Richard, we meant to send you a postcard and I just forgot. But I don't think I have your address, so. Things like that. We saw one guy hiking down with like potato chips, like a big bag of potato chips strapped to the top of his bag. That was smart. Like, they're super light.
Yeah.
And like you just strap them to the top, and then you have a trash bag at the bottom. And like Michael, when we were sitting there writing postcards at Phantom Ranch, back like a small bag of potato chips, and he was like, "I wish I had 4 or 5 more of these."
Well, the chips are only $1 and the beers are only $8, and if you live in a big city, you can pay more than that at the place on the corner. So
that's true. But like, you wish you had a big thing of potato chips at the bottom.
That's true.
So
well, I never thought I'd get that pro tip.
Yeah.
Pack the potato chips, strap them to the top of the bag, and you're good to go. Okay, so you guys have done it now. Mm-hmm. You got engaged in Arizona. Arizona is now a big part of your story. So I guess the question is, are you going to continue to write this story and come back and maybe, I don't know, is rim to rim in your future or anything like that?
Oh, I definitely want to do like rim to rim or rim to rim to rim, depending on
we had a friend from Anchorage who was, last time we saw her, she was planning to do the rim to rim and back. Mm-hmm. She's a little more hardcore than us, at least than me.
Is.
Maybe not Liz.
Yeah. I would probably start by doing bottom and back in a day, but bottom and back now feels super doable. Having like knowing that we can do both in 4 hours with like the heavy packs. So. Yeah, definitely coming back.
Start planning
insane.
it.
Yeah.
Right on.
Book your campgrounds early.
That's true.
Book in advance.
Or do it in a day. You guys could do it.
Or do it in a day.
If you can do rim to river like you did, you can do rim to rim for sure.
Yeah.
So. You guys are in great shape. Hey, thank you so much for your time.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thank
Thanks so
you.
much, Brian.
Congratulations.
This is great.
Yeah,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
And that is Trail Talk, conversations from South Kaibab. Expect more of that once Rim to Rim season opens up in about the next 6 weeks or so. Cannot wait. All right, folks, as you're planning your canyon adventures, please check out our new Grand Canyon Shade Tracker tool. It's completely free and shows you exactly when and where you'll find shade on your route every minute of every day of the year. Shade will be your best friend if you're hiking in the warmer months, and the Shade Tracker will help you hike safely and comfortably. Check it out at our website, brightangeloutfitters.com, or at gcshadetracker.com. While you're there, please also check out our t-shirts and hoodies, including our Rim to Rim collection. That is at brightangeloutfitters.com, the brand founded by my wife and me, without which this show would not be possible. All right, that's it for now. My name is Brian Special, encouraging you, as always, to go hike the canyon. Take that first step, embrace the journey, and when you get there, whether it's for time goals or taking your time, just hike your own hike and soak in all that is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. We'll see you next time on the Grand Canyon Hiker Dude Show, presented by Bright Angel Outfitters.